Baize, Rakim, John, Rene, 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 Baize, Rakim, John, Rene.
Doing.
Welcome.
Doing.
Y'all
Doing.
haters corny with that. I'm not Rakim S. So listen, I can't come up with random ass lyrics on the fly. I'm just not that girl. But welcome back to Podcast of Color, where 4 trash bags of color come together to make sense of the world. This week, though, there's only 2 of us because Rakim's ass is sick and has allergies and can barely talk. I'm sick and my head is killing me, but I'm here, bitch. I'm here, and that's okay. And then John, what is John doing? I forgot.
John's
what John was doing,
working.
John is working, bitch. John has a job. Wait, we all have jobs, don't we?
No. Technically, I'm just a student.
Oh, well, that's a job, girl. That's a full-time job.
That is it really is though. It really is,
girl. As hard as they got, as stressed as they got you.
Send me all the coin. Send it to me.
That's the real tea. Instead of us paying them, they need to be paying us.
Honestly, it's a job. It's truly a job. But anyways, I'm here. I also have allergies, but I'm here. And
wait, that sounds shady. It sounds like we're shading Rakim.
No, it's just
not.
No. It's allergy season, so like everybody's getting attacked right now.
And cold season or whatever.
Is it really cold season too?
I actually don't know. I just said it's cold season because I have a cold. If I have a cold, it's cold season.
No, but no shade to Rakim because I'm sure John has allergies too. It's just allergy season, and we feel y'all. I feel like most people that I know right now have really bad allergies. So, yeah, it's okay. Stay at home, take care of yourself, and eat a hot pocket.
A hot pocket. Is that the cure?
Yes.
The cure-all?
Yeah.
So this week's question of color is: what is your most useful personality trait?
Do you want to go first?
Yes.
Okay.
Mine is my charisma. I don't always think I'm charismatic. I don't think I'm always charismatic, but sometimes it just comes on naturally, and I just go into autopilot, and then it just takes over, and then I'm just like that bitch for no reason. I don't know why. I don't know how it happens. I wish I had control over it, but when it works, it works.
Give us an example of a time your charisma saved you from a situation or helped you.
My job interview that I just had last week.
Oh, the one where you were gonna call yourself a faggot?
Yeah, I almost called myself a faggot. I was like, oh, yeah, girl, I love Golden Girls. I'm such a... And then I was like, ooh, I'm so gay. And she started laughing too. And then we just had a good little cackle over it. I don't know. It's funny. Like sometimes I'll be at parties and then I'll just go, and then afterwards I'll be like, oh, I was so awkward and weird. Like I'm such a weirdo, and then everyone's like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
You know what? I think I may have that as well. I think that's gonna be my answer.
You have it.
Do I?
Yeah. First of all, you're so charismatic and you're hilarious. I don't know why you won't acknowledge this, but you are.
Really feel like I'm the most awkward person in the world. Legit. And this is why I don't do this anymore. This is not something I practice anymore. So just putting that out there. But I used to get drunk to go on job interviews.
Really?
Mm-hmm. This one job that I got at Buffalo Exchange, which back when I got it seemed like so cool because like there was a bunch of like fashion fags there, and so I thought it was cool. But now that whatever, it's Buffalo Exchange, not so impressive now. But yeah, I remember getting drunk, going there. I had no idea I had no fashion sense. I had no idea what fashion was. My friend just dressed me up and then like trained me and was like, these are the designers you should know. This is what the fashion is now, blah, 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 whatever. And then just threw me in there. And I was so nervous that I got drunk and had the job interview. And I remember they gave me like a pile of clothes. And they were like, oh, pick from this pile of clothes. And then what would you buy and what would you not? And like I picked like all the right ones. Except for one I said, oh, I would turn this into like a like tank top or something. And like, I was just talking out of my ass. I had no idea. But like, once they hired me, they realized that I had no fashion sense whatsoever. Like, I remember this guy coming up to me in front of the manager, in front of everybody, and was like, oh, like, I really like this. It was like this really like beautiful cap. And it's like, I really love this hat. Like, what should I wear it with? And like, the manager was there. I got so nervous, and I was like, shorts and an off-white V-neck. I remember being like, what? And my manager was like,
Oh my god, you're so stupid.
And the person was like, wow, I will do that. Yeah, I will do. And I was like,
people really did that? I never in my life asked people what I should wear at a Buffalo Exchange.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like it was because it was kind of like whatever in Santa Monica, like people trusted the employees there more. I don't know. Anyways, okay. But yeah, I think I really feel like I got the job because I was so drunk, and the charisma comes out sometimes when I'm drunk. Yeah. But like, but yeah.
Just so you know, the charisma also comes out when you're sober.
Oh,
just but so oh, I missed that. I missed all of that. all those little sound effects that you be doing. See, I think you're awkward, but you do these like weird sound effects, and then it just comes off as like really quirky and funny.
Thank you.
You laugh, but it's true. Like, you be doing like these random ass noises. And
you know what's so funny is that y'all think that I try to put off trade vibes, and then I like slam into the door. What noise did I make?
He was like, before we started recording, he like hit his toe or something. What did you do? You
I was walking. I was coming in. I was like rushing in here with my like glass of water, and I slammed into the door.
And he was like, oh. I was like, okay.
The girl was
coming out of her.
No, literally, I went to, okay, like, whatever. I went to bed with this guy recently, and like, I heard these like really like.
Oh, that's such an old-fashioned term. I went to bed with this guy.
Whoa.
Sounds like something
Blanche
would say.
I'm Blanche.
Yes, Blanche. Definitely.
But I heard these like really like gay ass moans coming from somewhere, and I was like, while this dude was like fingering me, and I was like, where's that? And I was like, oh my god, that's me. Like, I was just like,
I'm the gay ass mom.
And I was like, oh my god, that's wow. Yeah, so it's in here. It's in here. Like, I don't even feel like it's hidden, but I mean, if y'all insist. If y'all insist that I'm trade.
Mask vibes. But, you know. Which is really funny because you're so soft.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I think that's the contradicting thing, because you give off mask, but soft mask.
Soft mask. Yeah, that's what Sean used to say. And you know what I think it is I think I picked it up from like my siblings when I was younger. I like picked up like how you're supposed to act or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely not me. And I'm sorry to disappoint everybody, because yeah, when people hit me up on Grindr and they're like, mask, and I'm just like, oh,
do people really still do that?
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't. Yeah, I'm just like,
Child.
Truly. But yeah, this is why we hook up in public and not on Grindr. But anyway, that's a story for another time.
She exposing herself. So this is the origin story of 24-hour fitness.
Oh my god, Rakeem's not even on this episode.
I did it in honor of Rakeem, because I know he's gonna hear that and he's gonna appreciate the fuck out of it.
He will.
This goes out to you, sis.
To Rakeem, we miss you. Oh, let's answer the question for Rakeem and John.
Oh. Rakeem's personality.
For John, it would be, I feel like they're both charismatic too.
Charismatic. I feel like they're both very charismatic. Yeah, no, I think John is very charismatic, but John also like doesn't have social anxiety.
Right.
So I think like when
it comes off as like straight up charisma.
Yeah. So
like fresh squeezed.
I think, you know what I think John's trait is? His warmth.
Oh, that too. Yeah. That too. And the bussy fumes, but we won't mention those.
And I think Rakeem's personality trait that like really serves him is that he like seems like he's that bitch. Like when I first met him, I was extremely intimidated by him, because I thought like, oh, he's just like so confident in himself, and he's like so talented, and you know, he just has like this air about him, which is funny because then you like get to know him and he's just like this dork. But and we love that dork. But
we do. We do.
But he what he seems like, and then when you actually get to know him, is different. But
yeah,
he puts off an air of just like I'm
that bitch. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well,
so I think that's gonna be it.
Oh,
let me think. What is this? The intro. There we go.
We're both tired, y'all. I'm sorry. We're both so tired, but we love y'all, and we're gonna do this episode anyway. We got this.
Anyway, yes, exactly. Okay, so we'll be back with the minute of the color. What up?
I think that worked.
I think that worked too. We're back with the minute of the color. Y'all. I don't know what that word was. Whew. I was gonna say Lord, and then I was gonna say y'all, and I came out with that. So you're welcome. What can I say except you're welcome? Anybody watch Moana? Anybody? No? Okay. Wait, Rene, have you seen Moana?
Moana? I watched it with you.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh.
Remember when I was in front of the theater and I was like, where are y'all? And then y'all were at the theater in LA and I was in Santa Monica?
Oh my God. I didn't know that movie came out that long ago. I thought I was in New York when that
Moana? Moana?
I know. Yeah, I don't know. But you keep saying it. It makes me think of the movie. Because they say her name a lot in that movie. Moana!
No, we watch it together.
Oh, girl. These movies start to blend together.
Yeah, no, time is
these movie-going experiences.
Time is a fuck. Is a social construct.
Yes. So Charlize Theron has announced that her eldest child, Jackson, age 7, is trans. She said they were born who they are and exactly where in the world both of them get to find themselves as they grow up, and who they want to be is not for me to decide. My job as a parent is to celebrate them and to love them and to make sure that they have everything they need in order to be what they want to be. And I will do everything in my power for my kids to have that right and to be protected within that. Yeah, that's awesome.
What a badass parent.
I thought I had a son and a daughter, but I have 2 daughters.
Oh my God. That's so sweet.
It's beautiful. And I think between her and Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt really letting their kid explore their identity, it's just really cool that these parents are so publicly accepting their trans kids.
Yeah, that's awesome. Oh, we stand Charlize Theron. You know who else is good? I feel like who are good parents. And I feel like I've stand them already on the show, but I will continue to do so. The Smiths.
Yes.
Do you watch Red Table Talk ever?
I do not.
It's so good. It's so good. And I feel like these I feel like they're so I sometimes have issues with this term, but just their emotional intelligence and their ability to keep themselves accountable and
yes.
to really call themselves out on their shit. And then allowing their kids to do whatever they want to do and be kind of questioning, structures and figuring shit out for themselves. I feel like, wow. I feel like maybe parents are getting a little more conscious, maybe. Who knows? Or maybe they have the resources too, but still.
I think part of it too is definitely resources. You see even Magic Johnson with his son EJ. I think you definitely are seeing a lot of that, but I also think that there are a lot of everyday families and everyday families of color that are accepting and loving of their trans and queer kids. I wish we got to see a little bit more of that because I feel like we only really get to see. Granted, there is unfortunately a lot of transphobia and homophobia, but I feel like we don't get to see as many stories about families accepting their kids.
Yeah. Oh, parents.
Yes, please do better. Please.
Let me not unpack my trauma right now. Anyways.
Right? Oh, God. This code is coming out of me. It's coming out of her. Did you listen to Lizzo yet?
Yes.
I have not, unfortunately, because I'm still listening to Homecoming.
Okay. Homecoming for sure has been on repeat. But yeah, no, the Lizzo,
is it good?
I think it's so good. I've heard some mixed reactions from people, but I'm really into it. And I just stand Lizzo in general.
Yeah.
So
she's just so fun. Like, she just seems so happy to just be
doing what she's doing. And she's so like, I feel like she's such a badass. And if you like read her interviews, she like really knows her shit too. Like, she's just such a badass. I stan her. And yeah, listen to the new album, everybody. It's so good.
I saw her perform at I forgot the name of the event, but it was at MoMA PS1 in Brooklyn, or I guess that's Queens technically. And at the end of the summer last year, and she did her thing, like she sang, she like played the flute, she like twerked.
That's right.
Her energy just was like next level. I was like, go off, bitch! Like, wow.
Yeah, I've seen clips of her in like a Sailor Moon outfit and then playing the flute. Like really badass, and then be like, bitch, and then going back to like playing the flute. She's so good.
But I loved when she was doing those videos every other day. She was doing the videos and I was like, goodbye, bitch.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, where she's like on the tour, like little tour, like van thing, or not the van, but like that thing that like goes around. I know the stage.
That thing. Yeah, the thing that like a golf cart. Maybe.
I love her so much.
Speaking of Homecoming, did you watch?
Doing. I did, and it was amazing. It's like, you know what's so funny, because there was, I don't know if you remember the scene, but there's a scene where she was talking to, I feel like the producers, and she was like, I'm disappointed because I'm trying to recreate all the fun that we're having on stage on screen. And
that stood out to me. So, like, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and it wasn't coming, like, she said that it wasn't coming through. But thankfully, it seems like it actually worked out, because that's one of the things about this set, this performance, is you could feel, even not even just the Netflix, not even this, but this too, but like, even on the Spotify, when you listen to the music, like you can hear like the reverberation of like every drum and like the clap and the stomp and like all the voices, and it sounds just so uplifting and like so full of like beautiful energy that it's like, it really gets you. And I'm like, it's funny that was like an issue, and she like was taking it so seriously that she's like, no, I want this to translate, and I want this to like come across to people that are listening to it, and it totally is. And I'm like so stoked about it.
I thought it was I just can't imagine the attention to detail, and I can't imagine
a Virgo.
Like, she really didn't have to do that. Like, she didn't have to practice for 8 months. She didn't have to like give us the show that she got. Like, she gave us. She could have easily just gone up there, performed for like an hour, done like her usual thing, you know, and not even her usual thing, because she's always like doing something amazing when she does performances. I also want to correct myself. Last week I said that Beyonce doesn't take her earpiece out at other events, but she did do it at Coachella. When I was watching the documentary, I saw that and I was like, oh shit, I said that. But the fact remains that was her stage. They like made that, they recreated everything, so that was their stage. Just like the fact that she practiced for that long, the fact that she like had dropped twins after she had preeclampsia, which like all these pregnancy issues that I've heard of preeclampsia before. I don't actually know what it is. But the fact that like, and so one of the things that I've been, you know, seeing a lot more of lately is just the conversations around Black women's mortality rates. Like Black women, shit, I didn't even intend to talk about this, so I don't have the statistics pulled up, but Black women, I think, are something like twice as likely to die during childbirth as white women, and it's not because of let me see, Black women mortality.
It's because their pain isn't taken seriously, right, by physicians.
Exactly, doctors are not listening to them. They're saying like, "Hey, this is hurting. I'm feeling this way," and it's not like they're not saying anything, like they're not acknowledging these women's pain, or they're taking too long to get back to them, right? And like, even like, you know, my cousin, she had when she went into cardiac arrest actually when she had her baby.
Oh my god, really?
And I think Black women are even more likely to have to do C-sections as well. Like, there's just all kinds of shit that like doesn't necessarily have to be the way that it is, and it's like one of the biggest gaps. America has one of the biggest gaps in the world. And it's not even a class thing, because I've read countless articles of women who were doctors themselves, or lawyers, or engineers, who were upper middle class and were still dying in childbirth.
Fuck.
And so it's just wild to think that like even and Serena Williams even had
Right.
issues when she was giving birth.
Right.
And so it's just like crazy to think like, you know, like I was talking to my friend who's a black woman and she was just like, what? She was like, I'm never having kids because what chance do I have if these rich ass, famous ass black women are being listened to? Who's going to listen to me?
Fuck.
And so it's like on top of everything else that you have to worry about, like just even bringing a child into the world is like such a danger, in a way that it shouldn't necessarily, it shouldn't have to be. But yeah, I didn't even intend to talk about that, but it's just wild to me, and it was something that stood out to me when she was talking about that, because I was like I was literally like the New York gift, Beyonce, like Beyonce has to go through this shit, like that's wild to me.
Yeah.
But
I looked up preeclampsia really quick. It's a condition that occurs only during pregnancy. Some symptoms of preeclampsia include high blood pressure and protein in urine occurring after 20 weeks of pregnancy. Preeclampsia is often precluded by gestational hypertension. Yike. Yeah, she said that she had high blood pressure. And then she said she had to have a C-section, right?
Yeah. An emergency C-section.
Dang. Because she said one of the heartbeats. Yeah, was like pausing.
Slow down.
Fuck, that is terrifying. And then after all that, so here's the thing about Virgos and maybe earth signs in general. No. Virgos and Capricorns probably. And then just like people.
Come on, Professor Trelawney.
And then just people that push themselves in general when they shouldn't be. It's just like. So I don't know if you saw the part about her diet.
Yes. Also, real quick, I want to say I was wrong. Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related complications than non-Hispanic white women. Yes, this is according to the American College of Obstetrician and Gynecologists.
That's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, go ahead.
That's fucking terrifying.
So she was talking about her diet.
Yeah. So first of all, physicians and everyone get it together. But yeah, she was talking about her diet. I don't know if you saw, like, she was like, I cut out, what'd she say? I cut out carbs, bread, dairy, meat, sugar,
fish.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, what's the difference between the two? Because I don't know. People keep like differentiating between the two.
Dairy, meat?
No, fish and meat.
Oh.
I just keep hearing people say that a lot, and I'm just like, well, they're both meat.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know what? That's weird. That is something that like people, because there's pescatarians that will only eat.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's weird.
But it's just like I guess if you're saying like meat, then it's all meat, right? I don't know.
Right. Interesting. But the part that I found really interesting was when she was like, I learned that I can push myself like more than I thought I could have. And I also learned that that I should never push myself that far again. Something like that. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I definitely remember that.
And it like, and so, you know, she's so inspiring. She's so well known for being such a hard worker and for really putting like everything into her craft. But even when Beyonce is like, okay, but maybe we shouldn't be pushing ourselves this hard.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, holy shit.
Are we tying this to anti-capitalist?
We sure are. Because Beyonce's an anti-capitalist, honey.
You never fail me, sis. Look.
And maybe she's not anti-capitalist. You know what? This is kind of this is probably a whole other topic for another episode of where Beyonce stands per se. But yeah, I was just like, holy shit! Like, even this person that you know I admire and look up to for like always like being on top of her shit is like, no, I like push myself too far. And I was like, fuck. And it sounds like she pushed herself hella far and she really put like everything into this. And I mean, like, you know, the results are amazing. Like, we got an incredible show. I just hope that her personal and mental health are like also did not suffer in the process, because it sounds really fucking intense to go through all that.
Well, she said something to the effect of that she like gives herself a day, like 24 hours to just like be down, and then after that she gets back up and has to like keep going. Which I was like, I wonder like if I should have done that, because I was like, that actually sounds like, I don't know, like I saw a lot of people responding to that, saying that was something their therapist had suggested as well. Okay. Granted, obviously grief and like whatever you're going through takes however long it takes, but I don't know. Maybe that's unhealthy. Maybe it's not for everybody, but it seemed to work for her. No, but that stood out to me because she's a goddamn liar. And here's why she's a goddamn liar. Because when she gave birth to Blue, she immediately went back to the gym. She immediately like lost all this weight and like pushed herself to the brink so that she could go on the Mrs. Carter tour. Yeah. And she also said, I would never do that again. Oh, did she really say that? Just, like, talking about, yeah. So she was like, she's always talking about, like, I think she talks about, like, specific situations, because I don't think she's talking about pushing herself. I think that's just in her blood. Like, I don't think she knows how to do anything but to, like, push herself. I mean, she's been kind of, like, trained since she was a kid to be, like, a performer at all times. Yeah. Right? So it's probably just, like, part of her now, like part of her conditioning is just like always to be 100% a performer and like always to think about that performance aspect, which is why we get like a thing that's as like groundbreaking and amazing as this performance. Well, like because she even was like, I can't do 15. I used to do 15-hour rehearsals, and I'm like, so the other weekend, a friend of mine had a birthday, and for his birthday, he wanted to recreate the Danity Kane thing where they like, you know, when they like they perform and that music teachers like tell them to get it together. Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. The clip has been making rounds. The music teacher, the one that's yelling at them. Yeah. The one that was like that and eventually got fired. Did she get fired? I don't know. I didn't watch. You talking about the music teacher or the dance teacher? The dance. Okay. Yeah. That's what's her name. I remember who you're talking about. Yeah. But but he like did he didn't like want to do the mean part, but he just wanted to like, it inspired this dance thing. So he like did this dance thing, and it was like an hour and a half long class, and I was dead. Like my knees were killing me. Like I was done. So I can't even picture doing 15-hour rehearsals for a performance like this. Yeah. But she said that that's what she used to do. So she said they weren't doing that this time. But, you know, like, it's just wild. Like, she was like, I picked out the material, the floor on the steps. I picked out each and every dancer. Right. You know, I picked out each light. Right. Like, just like the meticulousness of it, like, is just like awe-inspiring. Like, I'm just so in awe of her, because Beyonce is just a naturally talented woman. Like, all you got to do is listen to her operatic runs. That like who else is doing that? Just the operatic runs alone. Like, who else is doing that? She shows you her talent every time she gets on stage. But like, besides that, she has all this hard work that she puts in behind it. So that's why you get the show that you're getting. Right. And so it's like, I'm not arguing with anybody on the internet anymore. Like, argue with your mothers, argue with your therapist, because it won't be me. Like, it's right there for you to see. Right. Clear as day. Yeah. Clear as day. But yeah, you're not just getting her voice. Like, you're getting, you know, this whole thing that she's like pulling together, for sure. Like, every aspect of it. Yeah, I might have to name names. What? No, I don't want to. No, I actually don't want to do it. But I just, you know. Oh, okay. I was just I was just watching other people's performances at Coachella. And I was just like, wow, like, Beyonce's like, she really, really, like, God, I don't want to say this without sounding mean, but basically you can tell that she put like her everything into this performance. Whereas like other performances that I was watching it, I was just like, oh, like, this feels like this person was just like, okay, whatever, this is going to be a check for me. Or maybe actually, let me not say that. Maybe that those artists pushed themselves as far as they wanted to push themselves, and that was a limit, and that's fine. And that's real. But you can tell how, like, you know, iconic that would be. And they even had, I don't know if you saw, but they had her stage on display this year at Coachella, and people were like taking photos with it. Yeah, and who else is doing that? Ain't nobody else doing it.
So I'm not gonna name names, but also, did you see somebody throw a lemon?
No.
Did you see someone who people are crediting the Beehive, but somebody throw a lemon at Ariana Grande this weekend during Coachella?
I did not see that.
Yeah.
Who is someone? Why are you not naming names?
No. It was like it was not like a celebrity. It was like somebody. Oh. It was somebody that was part of the Beehive. There's a video of it. There's a clip of it if you want to watch it. Like it's Ariana. I have
to go watch that.
Like walking through the crowd on or through the part of the stage that goes through the crowd, and then somebody
they need to calm.
Somebody threw a lemon and it smacked her.
No, it didn't. No, it did not.
It's not funny.
Oh my god,
it's not funny.
That is so mean.
I know. No. I mean, it smacked her on her chest, like, so it wasn't like, you know, but still, like.
I'm watching it right now. Ooh. Oh my god. I mean, okay, it didn't look like it hurt her.
Yeah. It maybe like bounced. It like bounced off of her.
That's fucked up.
But
they don't need to be doing
still,
that. That's ugly.
But still, the Beehive, y'all, please.
Yeah, they like literally. The Beehive needs to relax. There's nothing. Ariana is not coming for Beyonce's throne. Like, let her live.
Remember when Carrie Hilson was like attacking me on the internet and one thing, but throwing Beyonce CDs while I'm walking down the street isn't
My favorite was all the people who took credit for it. They were like, I was the one who did it. Like the Beehive had an Eye on Spartacus moment. It was hilarious. It was too much.
But anyway, yeah. Don't throw lemons at people, please. Don't do it. It's not funny. I wasn't laughing.
It's funny, but it's not funny.
It's funny. It's like, you know what's funny? I was just talking to a friend about this. What's funny about it to me is that somebody went as far, was like so heated. Yeah. Was like, for Beyonce. And threw a lemon. That's what's funny to me. It's not funny that actually, Ariana Grande, who did not deserve that, got smacked with a lemon.
She should not have been smacked with a lemon.
No.
But the fact that somebody threw a lemon is hilarious.
Did you watch Ariana's set, by the way?
No.
Okay.
I didn't care. I just don't care about Coachella this year.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I didn't even know it was Coachella weekend until literally the Friday. Like, not this past weekend, but the first weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I literally didn't know until Friday, and I logged in, and you know which Insta couple posted their outfit look, and I was like, oh, I guess it's Coachella.
Yeah. Well, I watched it, and it was I love Ariana Grande, and I will not compare her to anybody, because that's fucked up. But but yeah, I was just kind of like, the set was kind of dark. Mm-hmm. I feel like I couldn't really see her. There was some sound issues, unfortunately. Nikki.
Oh yeah, with Nikki
was. They were trying to there was some issues for sure. But yeah, I think the biggest thing is that it felt like I couldn't really see anything per se. But yeah, I remember one of the things that Beyonce had said was like, when you're like lighting a stage or when you're like putting on an outfit, you need to think about the person that's like at the far back, like in the nosebleeds. And think about them and think about what they're seeing. So that you need to be bright enough and like colorful enough or shiny enough in your outfit that person is going to be able to see it. And enjoy it. And so like I enjoyed that.
That is a beautiful thing.
But yeah, and then also
take the time to
her like dedication and her like how much she's like into HBCUs, because she said her dad went to one, right? Mm-hmm. And like, yeah, it really showed up, and it was pretty badass, I thought.
What was your favorite moment, or if you could name it?
Probably Party. I think my favorite moment is probably just because like a lot of her show is like kind of like just showing off what a badass she is, and I love that. Mm-hmm. But I also love when she's vulnerable, and it feels like the one part of the show where she like sunk to the floor and was like almost like on her knees was when she was singing "I Care." Yeah, and I was really into that. Like, first of all, I love that song, and then second of all, like just like her being like wow, this moment for me, like, just really fucked me up, and I'm just gonna, like, sing it on my knees. Like, this is how like, intense it was for me. Was really good. Also, after the Black National Anthem, when, like, the formation kicks in, that gave me fucking goosebumps. That was really amazing.
Honestly, formation always gives me goosebumps. Every time she performs it. Once I hear that little beat,
the doing doing,
I'm just like,
doing.
Yeah. Yes. When I hear that, bitch, it's over. I'd be breaking down in the dance with her. But probably, so editing wise, my favorite part is during Crazy in Love, when she goes from the yellow to the pink.
Yes.
That was fire.
Crazy in Love is a big mood for me right now. So I was really into that as well.
And then that beat change in Crazy in Love, like the live version, it was just like, I mean, I want to blow my back out to it. Like, I want to get, like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get back shots. But let's see, what else?
I feel like
also really.
Oh, sorry, go.
No, go ahead.
I feel like I forgot which one. Well, a lot of them, but I feel like Sorry, the beat to Sorry was a little bit different.
Yeah. I have to go back and listen.
And I was really into that. The beat for a lot of them I felt like were different, and they were including so much brass and so much of the band.
The horns were.
Yeah, so I was into that. Sorry, what were we gonna say?
Oh, I've been on. Like, I've been on when she did that. Whew.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the song that I can never remember the name of, and I have to always look it up so I can see the name. Before I Let Go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Before I Let Go. Yeah, I mean, when Kelly and Michelle popped up, and they, like, gave as good as they got, it was just, I don't know, it was just a well put together show. When her and Solange are dancing, like, the joy.
So cute.
And Solange just looked like a little kid. Like, that was so cute. Yeah. I was like, this is a full grown woman with a nearly grown son, but she's like, that's her big sister. It was so cute to see.
Yeah, it's really cute. They're just, like, so carefree. So sweet.
And it's also, like, beautiful to see how close they are to each other.
Yeah. And, like, the thing that happens a lot, which, by the way, I wasn't on the episode when y'all got to talk about When I Get Home, which I watch. I feel like I watch, like, at least twice a week because it's so good. But the thing that I really appreciate too about Solange is, like, they try to do this thing where, like, a lot of people are like, oh, fuck Beyonce, I respect Solange, she's, like, a real artist, and she's, like, she's doing this, and do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And, like, the thing I really love about her is that I think she tweeted not too long ago, but she was like, don't come at me with, like, I'm pro Beyonce, I'm pro Solange and anti Beyonce, because first of all, that's my sister, and second of all, I'm here for the like, very different expressions of Black women, and, like, that's one that I respect, and I'm all for Beyonce, and I really appreciated that too.
Yeah, like, they really ride for each other, so I thought that was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, I just, of course, obviously what stood out to me was just seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff when she said people don't like to rehearse because it humbles them.
Yeah.
That stood out to me.
Yeah. And, like, because it does, right? Because it's like, and not even just like in terms of rehearsing, but in general of, like, starting out something that you've never took, like, maybe a stab at before, or, like, trying to figure out, like, and she said, oh, you're scared to look stupid. And you are, because you're just like, holy shit, I've never done this before. So, like, now I have to, like, try it to see how, and like, it always comes out kind of messy at first. And that's so embarrassing. But it's just like, if you keep at it, you know, you'll get there.
Because Beyonce didn't just, like, walk on that stage that day and learn the choreography and do it perfectly. Right. She had to get the choreography down and then do it. Right. And then, like, honestly, just, that's what amazes me too, is, like, thinking about that. Like, she knows where the cameras are. She knows where the light is hitting. She has to also remember her dance moves, but then also, like, remember the lyrics to the songs that she's singing. And it's just like, there's so, like, that woman has to do so fucking much. And then, you know, and she does it. And so it's just like, and she's such a perfectionist that, like, when she messes up on that, which anybody would, considering all the stuff that she has to do, right? You know, She like is like, I gotta be better next time. I don't know. It scares me a little bit because it's like how far will you push yourself? But it's also like amazing because it like makes me feel like I could practice anything. You know, I was watching Golden Girls. I mean, I'm always watching Golden Girls, but there was literally like since like the breakup, like that's all I've been like on loop. I'll watch something else every once in a while.
Right. Golden Girls just makes you feel so good. I feel like if you overlook if you overlook some of the like fucked up stuff about it, like it's pretty. I feel like it's pretty. Like it's just so nice. And
honestly,
go ahead. Sorry.
Honestly, it's one of those shows that like it could be so dated and it's not. Like there are dated moments, like the gay episode or like the episode where she like jokes about like being assaulted while drunk. And like those things happen, and then you're kind of like brought out of it, and you're like reminded, like, oh yeah, this is the 80s. Right. But then, like for the most part, you're just like, oh my god, like it could be a show set today,
right? Yeah.
But there was an episode where Sophia, there's an episode when Rose is in the hospital, and they all take, it's like I think it's like season 7, and she's in the hospital, and they all go and see her, and they all talk about what they're gonna do now with like their newfound like sense of life or whatever, because you know Rose survived this thing, and Sophia says she wants to go to law school, and Dorothy's like, you're gonna be 96, and she's like, well, I'm gonna be 96 anyway, so what does it matter?
Wow.
So like it makes me think of that kind of stuff where I'm like, where I look at myself and I'm just like, bitch, you're like too old to be thinking about this, or you're too old to be trying this shit. Like,
Same.
you need to have this shit together. And then I'm just like, well, bitch, I'm gonna be that age regardless. I might as well have like picked up a new skill or learned something.
Dang.
And I feel like that's what Beyonce does. She's like, you know, like I feel like she really embraces, like, she's not trying to be the next young girl. Like she's not trying to, you know what I mean? Like she's not trying to compete with other people. She's just like, this is where I'm at. This is where I want to be, and I'm gonna try to get there.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be that age regardless. I'm gonna be in that space regardless. But I might as well, you know, have picked up something else along the way. And that's what I really appreciate about her.
Come on, Beyonce.
You know. Anyway, we've been talking about this for quite a bit.
I just I just want to shout out really quick Grouper, because they're like this she's this experimental band that I'm really into and was introduced to recently, but Beyonce used one of her songs in the documentary, and so shout out to Beyonce for knowing her shit on like the underground experimental music world.
Did you see when she shouted out that trans woman in the crowd who was wearing her outfit?
Yes, that was so cute. That was so cute. She's like, how'd you do that so fast? That was really cute. Yeah,
that was so cute. Like for her to interrupt her song. I don't know. I thought that was so cute. What to talk about next? Well, I mean, since we're already in Coachella, did you see this Aaron Schock thing?
Yes, I did. So
if y'all don't know who Aaron Schock is, and I barely remember, to be honest with you, he's a former GOP congressman. He's former GOP congressman, so like, I mean, you can pretty much guess what his voting record looks like. He was vehemently anti-gay. He ended up like being, what was it? He got like charged. Anyway, he's not a congressman anymore. Oh yeah, he resigned from Congress in 2015 after reports that he misused taxpayer money. He was indicted in 2017 on 24 federal charges, including wire fraud and mail fraud, although those were dropped by federal prosecutors last week, according to the Washington Examiner. Yeah, so this man is just like a complete disgrace. He's a disgraced congressperson. He's a disgraced politician. He's a disgraced homosexual. And he found himself at Coachella. He is a disgrace to the homosexual diaspora. And I would like to kick him out of it if we can be real with it. He's moved to West Hollywood. How are you in the closet, but you moved to West Hollywood? Well, he's not anymore, I guess, because he's now like not a congressman anymore. But he was seen in this picture. It was posted on Instagram with 4 other nearly identical abolitionists. No, that sounds like abolitionist. That sounds like a nice thing. Ab-centered. Ab-centered. Yes, I don't know. Whatever. Ab-centric. Abs and white skin. I'm not gonna go on a whole rant about like white men and abs and stuff because we do that. I feel like frequently, but I just find it hilarious. Anyway, he took a picture with these guys, and he was also caught in a video making out with another white man with abs, and it looked like he's jacking him off. He's digging in his pants, and his hands are moving quite rapidly up and down. So it looks like he's jacking dude off in the middle of this festival. Which, you know, live your life, girl. You look a little messy, but live your life.
I mean, yeah.
It's just interesting to me. That's the first thing I guess that's interesting for him to be so like tight-lipped. And everyone's known he's gay. He's been gay. Everyone has known that he's gay for years. But you know, Shock been gay. But for him to go from like this like tight-lipped person to like I'm making out and jacking off this guy in Coachella is just quite fascinating to me. But furthermore, it's interesting that people are willing to put aside the fact that this man is this horrible person and are still willing to hang out with him.
Right.
That being said, since then, two of the, I don't know, I guess this is an Insta couple that was involved in this picture or whatever.
Yeah, the posse, the Insta posse.
The Insta WeHo posse. Mm-hmm. And they said that they did not know who he was. Which is interesting to me. So you just like let this random man. It's just really interesting to me because it's just like y'all just be like, oh, you have abs and you're white. Let's take a picture.
Right?
Is that what y'all do? And this is not even a complaint. I'm just genuinely curious. Like I'm not posting pictures of people that I don't know on my Instagram.
Right.
I'm just and maybe that's just how I do it.
Right.
But it's just interesting to me. Like y'all like didn't know who this person was, but you had him on your Instagram. And also I find it a little hard to believe because I feel like when I first saw the post, I saw him tagged in the picture. It's possible that they didn't recognize the name. Yeah. It's possible. But they both have come out to say that they did not know who he was and that they never would have taken that picture with him if they did know who he was. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It was a Notes app message. And it's quite long. It's a thesis statement. And I just don't have the time. And you in school already, so I know.
Yeah, no, I don't want to be
long. And it's unnecessarily long. It gives us a lot of information that we don't necessarily need. But the point of it is that they said that they didn't know who he was, and that they would never have interacted with him otherwise. That being said, I've also heard through the grapevine that a lot of people still knowingly associate with him in West Hollywood, which again doesn't surprise me because he looks like what he looks like.
Right? They don't care. They don't care.
They don't. But it's just kind of, I think this one did shock me a little bit because I know that, like, you know, we give leeway to people that look good or whatever. But just the fact that, like, this is a man who's, like, actively worked to, like, make sure that you don't have rights, like, legal rights.
Right.
Like, not like somebody who, like, was an asshole to somebody else or even somebody who was racist to somebody. This is, like, something that affects all of us.
Right.
And you are knowingly associating yourself with that person. And I'm not talking about the guys at this Coachella thing because I could fully believe that a bunch of like half naked insta-gays are just hanging out, interacting with anyone who looks like them and doesn't really know anything about the person.
Me too.
Outside of that,
I buy that.
That's 100% believable. That's not surprising at all.
Yeah.
But like the people that live in West Hollywood that are interacting and associating with this man, he should not be able to show his face in West Hollywood.
Truly,
he shouldn't be able to show his face in West Hollywood without being shamed.
Truly,
like that's disgusting. That man is disgusting. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, you said it all, basically. You said it all, honestly. Yeah, it's just kind of like... Yeah, it's not surprising to me, honestly. It really is not. Like, thinking about the really shitty people that look like that get away with as much as they get away with, which, you know, is more on, like, a personal and, like, micro level versus, like, part of the government and trying to enact fucked up policies.
Yeah.
But still, really does not surprise me. You look like that and, you know, you're accepted.
Yeah. And he's somebody who's directly contributed to this next story, which is about a 15-year-old boy named Nigel Shelby, who died by suicide in Alabama, in Huntsville, Alabama. He was, I said that already, that he was 15. He was reportedly bullied. According to Now magazine, he was bullied for being gay. And it's like, you have situations like this, and like not to speak badly about Nipsey Hussle, but like you have people like him saying the stuff that he was saying, and then it like comes out, that affects the day-to-day lives of young queer youth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when you that's why. And like even thinking about little Zion, who's the son of Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union's stepson. So Dwayne Wade's son with his ex-wife. You know, the way that people like were coming at them for taking their son to Pride, to Miami Pride. You know, and it's just like these thoughts and these ideas and these laws. You know what I mean? And in these political standpoints, they affect the lives of real people and real kids, you know. And it also, like, this kid is black as well, and there's what does this say? It says
by the way,
suicide
go ahead. Go.
Yeah. Oh, suicide in black youth is on the rise and has reportedly reached twice that of white youth, according to Nadia M. Richardson of the organization No More Martyrs.
Fucking yike.
So it's just like y'all gotta consider this. And it's also why, like, again, as much as I like am not gonna be like celebrating like Nipsey Hussle's death, I'm definitely like, y'all need to let people feel how they feel about it, because when people say stuff like this publicly and they have a platform, and when people like Aaron Schock try to enact those things into law with their platform, this affects real life people. If kids like this are dying.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say shout out to Gabrielle Union. I thought that was the sweetest thing that they took their kid to Pride.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Imagine like, just imagine like,
I can't.
Right.
I can't even.
But like, okay, don't imagine. But like, pretend like, just what kind of people we would be today if like at 7 our parents were like, oh, like we accept you and we're gonna take you to this thing that celebrates you for who you are.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I was also hearing a lot of gays like actually were coming back on it too, though, because they said that they felt like the Miami Pride was very sexual. I've never been to Miami Pride, so I don't know. But do you feel like it's overtly sexual?
Most likely. I mean, Pride in general can be, but it's also like,
the parade though is not as.
The parade isn't maybe. Also, like, the thing is too is, I feel like, you know, straight kids, you know, they're watching fucking, I don't know, what do straight kids watch? The Super Bowl with their parents, right? And then ads come on, and then we have ads with like these girls in like, you know, skimpy outfits, and you know, they're super sexualized and whatever, and like, and the dads get to go like, that's my boy, when like a 8-year-old is like staring at the screen. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, when like, you know, a kid happens to be around, maybe, you know, these shirtless guys in like their like shorts or whatever, it's just like, oh, then it's an issue. When it's just like, this person, they're taking their kid because they want to celebrate who their kid is, and feel that their kid has a community or has like a connection, and a group of people outside of just themselves that they can connect to, which is so important, because when I was a kid, for a long time, like, I was just like, holy shit, like, I'm gonna be, like, I'm like the only one, and I'm such a like obvious faggot, like, what am I gonna do when I'm 15 and my faggot ass becomes even more obvious, and like no one around me is also gay. Like, if I knew when I was a kid, like, I would probably have so much less. I mean, well, actually, no, we have other trauma to talk about. But I feel like I would have less anxiety about like the world in general if like I knew as a kid, like, oh, but it's okay, like you'll have a community out there, or there's people out there like you, and you'll be fine. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so like, even if it like, first of all, I don't think the parade gets that sexual. Like, maybe if you're like in a bar. Do you know what I'm saying? I get that. Yeah,
but they're a kid. He's like 11. He's not
right.
And he's with his mom.
Right.
His stepmom.
Yeah. And so like, no, I don't. And even if like a guy, if he sees like a guy walking around in a shirtless, like, kids get exposed to that all the time, and nobody has an issue with it until it comes to being attracted to the same sex.
Yeah, that's real.
So
Also, I'm gonna post later. I'm gonna post this under our description. But if you guys want to share to Malaysia Booker's GoFundMe, she's a Black trans woman who was attacked in broad daylight in the middle of the street in Texas. She's fortunately still alive and okay. And I believe she's actually spoken out. I haven't watched that video yet, but yeah, she was attacked. She got into a car accident, and the person like held her at gunpoint, and then I don't know, like all these men. I watched the video, and a lot of men started jumping her. It was ugly. It was really and of course, bad. Like Black women came out to help her. Yeah, were the ones that were like trying to defend her.
So bad, so fucking bad.
Yes. What else do we have here?
Have you been watching Sabrina?
Yes, I actually really liked this season. I didn't think I was gonna like it, and I liked it.
It's really good. I feel like, you know what I feel like it is? It's giving me like what's a combination of things. I was like, what do you call it when it's three things? But I guess like no, it's still a combination. It's giving me like Buffy plus Veronica Mars, but then like hella Harry Potter too.
I can see that.
Like,
I can see what you mean.
Like it's giving me that same feeling that those shows give me, and I'm like, I'm super into it. I do wish Prudence wasn't like, you know, kind of like portrayed as so evil. Yeah, because she's such a badass. Mm-hmm. But I also tend to like the badasses in the show too. Did you ever watch Buffy?
No.
Okay,
I need to.
Buffy was really good, but the badass in that show, who for a long time I thought was Mexican, and I think they low-key, I feel like they kind of coded her as Mexican too, was Faith, and she was like the bad slayer or whatever, and I always thought she was so much more interesting. She's like the working class slayer, and because of it, she was like a little more like rough or whatever, which is, you know, silly, but I thought that she was really cool. But yeah, anyways, yeah, I like this season a lot.
Yeah, Wait, do you watch Game of Thrones?
No. I just know Expecto Patronum for the fire, for the dragon fire.
Oh, girl. It's Draconis. It's Dracarys, excuse me. Draconis. See, this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing to me. See, okay, well, I see I'm gonna have to wait until next week when Rakeem is back, so then we can talk about Game of Thrones.
Okay.
But also, he can't talk to me about, Avengers, because I couldn't get tickets.
Oh. Yeah, I don't really... I don't do that really, but you know,
I really do want to see it, but I just wasn't able to get the tickets in time, so I'll have to wait and see it like a week later, but that's okay. So I really haven't been paying a whole lot of attention. No, wait, let me not do that. We'll do that after. Real quick. So Notre Dame, the church in France, was under construction, and it got lit on fire during construction. The little tower thing, this is definitely not what it's called.
The spire.
The tower thing. The spire was destroyed. But fortunately, the majority of the inside of the church was preserved. I love history, and I also like, not to be the girl that was like, oh, I've been to Paris, but I've been to Notre Dame, and I like it was for me, it's such a rewarding experience to get to be in spaces that are so old. I think because growing up, especially in California, like most things are not that old. Right. Like something being 100 years old in LA is like crazy. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this is so historic. But even on the East Coast, like things are much older than that, and it's not that big of a deal. But then you go to Europe and things are like 1,000 years old. And the Notre Dame is almost 1,000 years old. I think it's over 800 years old. And so, like, seeing that burning was just kind of, like, heartbreaking to me. However, the quickness with which the world's richest people have donated to this building being redone. I don't know what the word is. Rebuilt. There we go. Is disgusting to me.
Yeah.
Because you have a world where people are in debt for going for getting a degree that you say they need to have,
right,
for 30-40 years. You have a world where people can't get health care because allegedly, like, you know, everyone should pull themselves up by the bootstraps and the rich shouldn't have to pay for our health care or whatever. even though they benefit from a lot of our hard labor.
Right.
You know, you have an environment which is dying. Our world is dying, and you have all these things: poverty, sickness, disease. Like, you know what I mean? And you're putting your money towards a church that will be okay.
Yeah.
Like, I was sad. I was as sad as anybody else was at first. But bitch, let me tell you, if I was a billionaire, which I probably would never be a billionaire, we can never mind. That's a conversation for another day. But anyway, I was going to talk about the ethics of being a billionaire, but we don't have to talk about that. But you know, like, I would never in my life donate to this, of all things. Flint doesn't have water.
Yeah.
Flint still doesn't have water. Puerto Rico. What was it? Like, something like 3,000 people died in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
And the U.S. sent money.
Right. The fuck?
Pledged support for this. The U.S. pledged support for this. Couldn't support its own citizens. Let's talk about that.
Well, because, you know, so they don't see people of color as deserving.
But it's even like, the wild thing to me is it's just like, even like, I think what's so wild to me right now is just like thinking about rich people and how like they're just not smart. And that's been like my biggest like thing like lately, is like I've been realizing how like just unintelligent, and like not even like on a SAT like marker of intelligence type of tip, but just like these people literally just are so short-sighted. And it's like, our world is going to affect everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can hoard resources, and you will, but the poor are going to come for you.
Yeah.
And it happens repeatedly in history.
Right.
In France, in the 1790s, in Russia, the Tsar would not give up power and was treating Jewish people like shit, and was treating, I mean, non-Jews like shit as well.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? They rose up and killed the whole family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you guys can keep doing this, and then we can keep repeating history, or you could take care of the earth and the people.
Right.
It's not that difficult, and you will still be rich at the end of the day. Like, that's the gag of it all. Is like, it's like, you really like it. Like, not to say that like capitalism was never going to work long term,
right?
But if people weren't so fucking greedy, like, our society could be so much more well-oiled and could work so much better.
Right.
And, like, you could actually appease people into, like, believing in capitalism for a lot longer than it's going to last, because now people are over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you're so fucking greedy, and you won't even pay people a livable wage. You won't. Sorry, this is a whole nother rant. Anyway, the point is, this pissed me off, because I was really actually sad when I saw that the fire happen,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was pissed when I saw how much money they were getting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I can't even like. It's really not surprising to me, honestly, at all. Like, I was not like, oh my god, I can't. Like, I was just like, okay, business as usual. They're doing, they're showing where their priorities lie.
But it's all like, I mean, even just like the environment, like, I just feel like that should just be like a thing that we all care about, just because, like, at the end of the day, we all have to live on this planet.
But they literally, these are people that have, like, probably at every moment of their life have not had to deal with any type of consequences, and do not understand the concept of consequences.
Yeah.
Right. And so are just like, oh, somebody else will deal with that one day, or other people will deal with that. This won't affect me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? You're right. And they're right in that it will not affect them the way that it'll affect the rest of us. And they will probably be the last people, once we actually fuck the world or the environment, they will probably be the last people to die.
Yeah.
But they will also die. But they probably find comfort in, like, oh, like, somebody else will deal with it and we'll be fine. And obviously, living as lavish as they are, even if, like, they could donate fucking 75% of their shit and still be living extremely lavishly. They're just hoarding at this point.
They are. They can't spend the money they have.
Even then, like, you know, they're so used to things going their way and, like, not in tune with reality at all, that I don't think they understand. And I don't think they will. to be honest.
Yeah. You're right.
And you know,
it's just
it's just
I just feel like it's gonna take like this like I just feel like it shouldn't have to take the well I don't know I don't know. I just feel like it's gonna have to take like a violent, bloody revolution, and it just shouldn't have to take that.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it too many instances of this in the past.
Yeah.
Why not learn from history?
Yeah.
And that's where I'm just like, wow. And we'll talk about like we're gonna talk about this in the discourse, but like that's where I'm just kind of like, wow, like I really do need to appreciate where my mind is at, because it's like I really be like looking at these people, at these rich white people, and I'm just like, and I be in these spaces, and I'm like, I can never live up to that. You know what I mean? Your brain tells you like you can't live up to that.
Right.
And then you see stuff like this, and you see stuff like the college scandal, and you're just like, these people are not smart. They're not smart. They just are selfish and they're greedy.
Yeah.
And they had a leg up in the world. Yeah.
Truly. And they don't deal with consequences, and consequences will make you more wise. Exactly. Yeah. Fucked up things that are fucked up, like, and it's a fucked up thing, and we shouldn't have to go through a lot of the things that we go through, but they will teach you to be more wise and to interact with the world in a wiser way, for the most part. Do you know what I'm saying? And like, if you've never had to deal with that, then, you know, where's your maturity? You're probably, you know, you're at like level 0. The bar's on the floor.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So Nike came out with they released a gender neutral clothing line. Which, okay. I guess that's exciting.
Yeah.
Like, it's just odd, because it's like it's gender neutral, but then they have it presented as two different genders wearing it. Which is also like, not that I don't know, I'm not going to presume to know the genders of the people that are in these pictures, but like that's how it's kind of presented, is you have someone who looks femme and someone who looks more masc, and then they're wearing these clothes. And then, so that's number 1. And then number 2, it's just like, all these clothes are just men's clothing, but they just put them on like what look like might be women.
Right.
So it's like, where are the crop tops? You know what I mean? Where's the sequins? Like, and there's a picture of a guy and a girl, and the girl is wearing the femme is wearing a sports bra, and then the male presenting one is wearing a t-shirt. And actually, I know he identifies as a man because I recognize him. But you like, what? This is not gender neutral.
Oh, Nike.
This is just men's clothing, and then you just put in what seems like women in
it. Right.
And that's the problem, which I think John will have more to say about that, but that's the problem with the idea of like what is gender neutral or what's androgynous.
Right.
It's almost always like something or someone that's more masc presenting.
Right.
But kind of looks like maybe they're a little fat.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Nike in general. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. Honestly.
So have you been keeping up with, you said, well, we talked about this and you said you haven't been keeping up with the politics, and I actually haven't either. No. But I did see, so there's a new gay man that's trying to be president.
A white gay.
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about him. All I do know is that I saw him in a video with James Charles doing his makeup.
Oh,
which was
my
a strike,
God.
as far as I'm concerned.
Already.
And then, I know this is a really petty reason to be like a strike, but like...
No, it's not. James Charles, has said some fucked up shit, and is like, you know, this another like little white gay that like a lot of white gays love, like... No.
And then he made this statement talking about Ilhan, what's her last name? Omar? The congresswoman, the Muslim congresswoman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's Ilhan. Yes, Omar. Ilhan Omar, when she was talking about just the atrocities being committed in Israel, which I don't talk a lot about, to be honest, just because I still don't know. I have a general idea of like what is going on and where I stand on it, but like I don't know like the intricacies of the situation. Mm-hmm. But I do have like a basic knowledge of like, if two people are coming at each other and one person has significantly less stuff behind them, and the other person is coming at them with everything they've got, there's a problem.
Right.
And I also, if you're looking at a situation where, queer people are having their identities used against them, when people are coming out and saying that, oh, Israel's so pro-gay, it's so pro-gay, look at Tel Aviv Pride, look at all this stuff going on. And then you have like the IDF like using the queer identities of Palestinians against them in order to make them inform on people.
Right.
That's not pro-gay.
Yeah.
That's not pro-gay.
Yeah.
So what we're not finna do is pretend like if it's not pro-gay for everybody, it's not pro-gay.
Yeah.
And Butt Gig, I don't know what his first name is. What's his first name? See, this is why I need to be up in the politics, because I haven't been paying attention. I've been going through too much.
Same.
Pete Butt Gig. Pete Butt Gig, Geig, what is his name? I don't know. Said that that Elon should not be comparing. Let me find the actual tweet, because like I don't want to be out here like distract, girl. Come on, do something funny. Do your stand up. Do your
doing. Yeah, okay, I will say that I haven't been paying a lot of attention.
Yeah,
but from what I'm hearing, and this is what I'm hearing from a lot of people that I respect, is like there's not a completely clear platform. Like he's just running and saying like I'm white and gay. And I don't know where else he stands. But if that's all you're going to be using for your platform, or if that's kind of like, the main thing, that in my experience, that's probably not going to be somebody who is going to get my vote. Knock on wood.
My thing that,
but like,
I mean, unless we have to.
Yeah. Unless we have to. But, as we've seen with a lot of, established politicians, is they do not understand the suffering or issues of anybody outside of their own groups. And so if that's all like you're running on, then I probably have a good idea of how what you think of people of color and their struggle. And like, and also like, because if we talk about traditionally how like white folks in politics, and even just like Hillary Clinton, who everybody was like, oh my god, a woman, yay, like feminism, but was like send them back when talking about immigrant children that cross the border. Like it's and was talking about super predators when referring to black folks in jail.
And has used slave labor.
Right.
Let's not forget that.
It's just kind of like, I will bet that your stances and maybe not even your stances, but your personal politics are not where are not ones that I would trust.
So that's another thing too for me, is like I feel like so we're gonna talk about Warren in a second, just really quickly because we are running really short on time. But the thing about Butt Gig is I've not heard any stances, like I've heard stances, but I've not heard anything like substantial behind them. And mostly what I've been hearing is he's gay. Right. And so the reason that's interesting to me is that the past 2 years, Democrats have been telling us that identity politics are wrong. Right. And it's just like now it's right. You know what I mean? And it's just funny how like when it's right for like them, but it's not right for us to talk about identity politics. And furthermore, identity politics, everyone participates in identity politics, because being a Republican, being a white Christian, whatever, is being heterosexual, being family values, all that is identity politics.
Yeah, they just think that their politics or their identity is default. Exactly. And so then they don't need to refer to it as an actual identity.
Exactly. But so the quote that I was looking for was, Butt Gig, a married gay man, counters strongly against Ilhan Omar. People like me get strung up in Iran, he said. So the idea that what's going on in Israel is equivalent is just wrong. And that to me was kind of funny, because it was just like, it really made it clear to me that you don't really value gay people that don't look like you. Yeah. Because if you're going to talk about people being strung up, Palestinians are getting murdered regularly
right
in Israel
right
now. So some of those Palestinians are gay.
Yeah.
And so
they don't care if you're gay or not. They're just you're Palestinian, and you know
exactly. But I'm saying, like, we know, like, for a fact that they've used their identities as blackmail against them.
Right.
We know that for a fact.
Right.
And we also know that a lot of Palestinians are being murdered, and we know that at least the chances are that some of them are going to be gay.
Right.
So you saying that people that are like you, to me, says that you're talking about exclusively white people.
Right.
White people that look like
right.
you. Or white people that are like you. White gay people.
Yeah.
Because you can't value all gay people if you're saying that people that look like you are being strung up. Because you wouldn't even say that about America when black people and black gay people are being killed regularly as well.
Right.
So, like, anytime you do something like that, like with a country, really know what you're talking about, I feel. Because it's going to come off a certain way.
Yeah.
And to me, that came off as, I don't give a fuck about gay people that don't.
Right. And this is what I'm saying when, like, the struggles of themselves are, like, the only ones really that they give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Or want to center.
So I'm like, that's what I've seen from him so far. I'm like now getting to a point where I'm starting to pay more attention to everything and all the candidates, because I do want the best Democratic candidate to go against Trump. Also, but on the flip side of that, I watched some of Senator Warren's town hall today, or tonight, and she was talking about her debt relief, not debt, a college debt relief fund.
Yeah.
And how she's trying to just relieve college debt. I think it's like something like you get relieved if you're making under $60K. And like have it completely wiped out, and then it goes down further over. I think it's every $3 above 100, it goes down more and more. How much? And then if you're making over 250K, then you don't get it because you obviously can afford to just pay
right.
So no, so I was wrong. Sorry, it's under 100K, but they will wipe 50,000 of your student loan debt.
Oh my God, I'm so here for her. I'm so here for her. Truly.
To create a $50 billion fund for historically black colleges as well. And, she has a whole thing. There's a whole thing about how she backs it up. But we are running short on time. So I'm just going to say that it sounds like she has a solid plan, and she's explaining that plan to us and how she's going to do it and get it done. I still want to see I don't actually know what she feels about healthcare. So I do want to hear more about that. And this may be more of a New York thing, but I also feel like it depends, right? Because I think $100,000 in New York City is not $100,000 in Houston, Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I wouldn't wonder if there would be a state-based situation.
Yeah, on a percentage or something.
Yeah, just because every city has a different standard of living, and so yeah. Anyway, so I thought that was awesome. Fuck everybody who feels like they shouldn't have that is mad because they already paid off their debt or they didn't go to college, and so they're mad that that one thing that they felt superior about not going to college is that these people are now in debt, and now they're not going to be in debt anymore if Senator Warren gets her way.
Right.
Fuck you. It's not like you shouldn't want to screw people because you got screwed.
Right.
It's about making things better for the next generation.
Right.
So
self-centered.
It's ugly. Well, wait, you said something about Instigate? What other Instigate did something?
Oh, just really quickly, I was just going to talk about the influencer, the one that was Jesse Taylor.
Right.
Did you get to watch the video or no?
I didn't, because I was reading.
Okay, I'm just gonna say really quickly. But anyways, this influencer was banned from Instagram, and she posted a video crying, talking about how she doesn't want to be a regular person and get a regular job, and she doesn't want to be like the rest of us and be losers, and she wants her job back, and Instagram is all she knows as a job. But it doesn't inspire a lot of sympathy in and of itself. But also when you find out that part of the reason apparently that she got banned was because she was being really racist. She's recorded on somebody's live saying somebody was mentioning their girlfriend, and she was And he's like, oh, she's like cuter than you. And her response, Jesse's response was like, she's not cuter than me. She's black.
Oh, okay.
And has mentioned several things of the nature, and has repeatedly said like, oh, I don't care. I don't give a fuck. I'm racist. And okay. B has a restraining order against her for bodily harm on somebody. Apparently she put bleach in somebody's shampoo, which caused them to break out like in like burns and like a rash.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And so this person is like trying to garner sympathy online by posting this video, and like it absolutely backfired. It's not working whatsoever. So hopefully she doesn't get her Instagram back, and hopefully these people learn that there are consequences to their actions.
One can only hope. You know, I was reading this thing real quick. Sorry, if we keep going.
You're fine.
That they might like make likes on Instagram unseeable, so only the person who gets the likes can see. And I'm like, wow, that's really gonna fuck shit up. That's gonna shake things up.
Yeah, I don't see Instagram doing that, because that's how they get their revenue.
That's their bread and butter.
Yeah. But that would really that would really change everything for sure.
That would be so funny. I would live for
it.
That.
Would.
That would be so
right.
Ooh, where would the girls get their worth
on
from?
it?
Ooh, that would be so entertaining to watch.
I'm crying.
They would move to Twitter. The girls would move
to
Twitter.
They probably would.
Okay, yeah, so that's gonna be it for that long ass minutes of color. Yeah. We're gonna be back with the Dick's Guess. Hello and welcome back to the Dick's Guess. I just know what this accent is. Oh yes, I think it's French, I guess. Sometimes I just let the accent come out and I just go along with it. I don't know where it's going.
Is that in honor of Notre Dame burning?
Yes. Yes, the Notre Dame has burned down, but only partially it has burned down. The majority of the church is clearly intact. So yes, we are very happy. We sang our... No, let me not do that. Because people are going to be mad. Anyway.
Let's not.
Yeah, let's move on. Anyway, who?
Just over here discoursing.
What are we discoursing about today, Rene?
Today? I'm so tired. I can't.
Girl, same. Ooh, these accents are really like, I'm pushing them out. Pushing them out like a baby, girl. So, yes, the question of, oh, Lord Jesus. Ooh, wow, the tired is hitting. Yes, so the discourse is about appreciating your journey and where you're at in your life. I was having a conversation with a friend. She was like, you have made all these strides in your life and you don't ever take the time to be like, wow, I did that. Like, you're constantly critiquing yourself and asking why you're not further.
Yeah,
but,
same.
Like, you don't ever take the time to like look at where you're at right now and then look at where you were at even a month ago. And so that is something that I don't know how to do. It's something I'm working on. It's just, I guess it just feels like, you know, I feel late. I feel behind. I feel like I'm trying to catch up all the time to everyone else. And it just like, even whenever I make a stride, it just, you know, it never feels like it still feels like I'm still behind everyone else. It's like, oh, I'm like, I feel stupid sometimes for even being excited about like some of the milestones that I've met, because it's just like, I should have met that milestone 5-6 years ago.
Real.
And so it's like, this is a celebratory moment, but I'm like, but all I can think is like, why wasn't I here? You know,
right.
A while ago. And so I'm trying to get to the point where I'm just like, because at the end of the day, I've always been like this. I've always been like, oh, like, I mean, when I was a kid, not when I was a kid, but when I was like a teenager, I was like, well, why wasn't I like this when I was a kid? And when I was a young adult, I was like, why wasn't I like this when I was a teenager? And now that like I'm in the later half of my 20s, I'm like, well, why wasn't I like this in my earlier 20s? And it's just like, I feel like I'm realizing that I'm just always going to be looking back, and I'm never going to take the time to like be excited about the now. And so I'm trying to take that time to do that. Because I know that like I'm like, not that like being in your 20s is anything, but I'm just like, I'm still in my 20s, I'm still young, like, and 30s is young too, but it's just like, I need to, but it's just like I need, but it's like,
she's like, oh wait,
no, we're both young, but the point is that I'm never gonna be this age ever again. You're never gonna be the age that you are ever again, and it's like, appreciate it now, and like be here, be present in it now, so that, you know, in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, you're not looking back at this age and being like, wow, like, like, why wasn't I doing what I'm doing now then? You know what I mean? Because at that point, you're like doing what you want to be doing.
For sure.
And so, and it goes back to what I was saying about like the whole Sophia from Golden Girls moment, where she's like, I'm going to be 96 anyway. Like, bitch, like, there's things I'm looking into tech now, and I'm like doing like studying tech on my own right now. And it's just like, part of me is like, bitch, like, it's just too late. Like, you're going to be like in your 30s by the time you get like a job at that. And then you're just going to be over the hill, and it's going to be too late. And I'm just like, well, bitch, I'm going to be like that age regardless. I'm going to be there anyway. I might as well take the time to be like, oh my God, like, how cool is it that I've taken this interest in this thing, and I'm taking the time to learn it on my own. You know, when I'm writing, it took me writing my first book. It took me almost a year. It took me almost a year. I remember starting the outline in 2016.
Yeah.
At a writing retreat, and then I didn't finish it until my birthday in 2017 in May. And so, you know, and I didn't finish, that was drafting it, you know, and then I had to rewrite it, and rewrites took me months. And now, you know, I have a bunch of people reading it right now, so I'm like, to distract myself, I started writing another book, and there's 21 chapters, and I'm already almost finished with chapter 15, and I started it less than a month ago.
What the fuck, Baize?
But in my mind, like, bitch, time is running out. Like, you should have already been further than this. Because, like, this past weekend, I took the weekend off of writing. And even, like, I remember a couple weeks ago, I, like, took, like, Rakeem suggested I watch, what's that anime called? The Something Neverland. And I was...
Finding Neverland?
Watching, no, it wasn't Finding Neverland.
Never mind.
Bitch, that's the Michael
Just
Jackson
kidding.
I forgot what it was called, but it's Something Neverland, and it's on Hulu, and I started watching it, and it was like 30-minute episodes, and I was like, I just needed to get out of my head, and I was like, oh my God, let me just go ahead and watch this. And then I started watching it, and as I was watching it, I felt guilty. I spent every waking moment, you know, applying to jobs, or writing, or working, or being at work. And I took 30 minutes to watch the anime, and I was just like, bitch, what's wrong with you? Like, you lazy ass bitch. Like, and so it's just like, wow, like, I'm like, I've accomplished so much. And like, even as I'm drafting this book, drafting, every time when you draft a manuscript, it's not going to be good. It's garbage. Like, you're writing it out for the first time. It's not going to be good. But even as I'm writing it out, I can see how much better it is than my last one.
Yeah.
Like, how instantly, like, I instantly found the voice in one of my characters, like, instantly, like, being very descriptive in a way that I wasn't being descriptive before, you know. So it's just like, I'm trying to take that time, like, or even like with job hunting, you know, I've been getting to a point now where I'm like having interviews, and I've been reached out to with interviews, and it's just like, I'm like in advanced parts of the interview, and so it's just like, you know, like, taking the time to be like, wow, bitch, like, you know what I mean? Like, when I admitted earlier that I'm charismatic sometimes, it's just like, I am. Like, every time I have an interview, I'm nervous as fuck beforehand, and then I just go into autopilot, and then I, like, ace the shit. And so it's just, like, taking the time to be like, wow, bitch, like, you're good at this. Like, you are good at engaging with people. You're good at engaging with a lot of different kinds of people, and you weren't always like that. You know, there was a time when I talked about this many times where I got really depressed after I graduated high school, and I couldn't even interact with people. I was so socially anxious that I could not talk to people that wasn't like my immediate family. You know, and here I am, like, walking into interviews in New York fucking city, not even where I'm from, and like acing like being confident, and like, yeah, and like making interviewers laugh, and it's just like, as I'm saying this right now, I'm like, shut up, bitch, you still haven't accomplished anything yet. Like, my brain is literally telling me this right now. And I'm just, like, having to keep saying it, because it's just, like, at the end of the day, like, where I'm at now is not where I was. And while it may not be where I want to be, it's not where I was. And that's still important.
Real. So, all real. All valid.
That's my little ministry. My spirit.
No, that's all real. And, I feel like, Baize, you and I, and maybe this is just a universal thing, but maybe we're just more, like, vocal about it. But I feel like you and I definitely kind of struggle with a lot of, like, the same self-doubt shit, maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
And, I'm a little older. Just a little older than you. And, yeah, there's so much shit that I struggle with. There's, today I woke up and I was kind of like, I've been struggling maybe for like the last week a lot, just because I'm basically at what is supposed to be kind of my last like important semester in school. And it's just like, because of that, I'm taking these really important classes and they're like demanding and they're super challenging. And I've been doing, since I got back, I've been doing so well. Yeah. But right now, just because there's so much pressure with specifically with these classes that are extremely demanding, I'm like kind of reclined. I can see myself also because, I'm also like financially I'm not doing amazing. Because I'm a student and I'm trying not to work so that I'm doing well in these classes. Because I'm about to be finished. And I've realized that I'm basically in the same position I was when I was here for the first time. Maybe like 5-6 years ago. Actually, technically, when I look at 7 years ago, and I dropped out. I was there for 2 years and I dropped out in 2014. But it feels like, holy shit, I'm like
it wasn't 7 years ago.
I was there 2012 for 2 years and then dropped out 2014. So 2012.
Right, when you started. Yeah. Got it.
But it's like basically like, holy shit, it almost like is like a full circle thing of like, you're back in this place and like, you're fucking broke. You're stressed out because of school. You're worried about your personal relationships. How are you going to deal with it this time? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's basically like, it's almost kind of like the universe, like, okay, I'm putting you in the exact same spot. What are you going to do now?
Yeah.
And I'm freaking out just like I did the last time. But, I am, it's weird because you know what? I'm not going to go into great detail about this, but like somebody that I knew was struggling similarly to the way that I was, in college, has always kind of been like this weird, like there's always been kind of this weird, like combative relationship between us. And I always thought we were friends. But they recently brought up the fact that I'm struggling financially as a joke and kind of like as a jab.
Ooh, okay.
And that really fucking bothered me because I was just like, you were struggling too. And you made it out because, and I won't even say certain reasons because I don't want to put their shit out like that, but they basically made it out due to the help of a lot of people. And I'm just kind of like, I'm struggling and I'm definitely getting help from people. Like, I only have housing and you know this and whatever, I'll just put it out there, but I only really have housing because my friends and my partners, are offering housing for me and a place for me to stay while I'm going through this.
Yeah.
And so it kind of put me in this place, like, it almost put me in this place, like, should I be ashamed that I'm struggling right now?
Yeah.
Like, at this age, maybe I should be ashamed and maybe it is a bad thing that I'm, like, struggling so much financially and that I'm still trying to get my bachelor's at my age. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this is something that I should be ashamed of. And I was talking to a friend about it this morning and they were like, Rene, you're so hard on yourself all the time. Like, and like, you know, you're doing so much and you're like, and like, I remember feeling like really like kind of my morale was really down, and then I walked out and I was like in the sun, and I met up with some of my friends, and I met up with my partner, and like I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna like let this shit go because I don't have time and I can't repeat the same thing that I did before, and I have to like put my whole self into this. And also I just need to have more faith in myself, because when I look at it, I'm just like, holy shit, I went from, you know, trigger warning, but like 4 years ago being like, oh, I'm probably not gonna live very long, and I should probably be, you know, I'm probably going to take my own life soon.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm not accomplishing very much. And in so doing, I'm not having a stable life. And now, like, when I look at it and I have, like, an amazing group of friends, like, I literally am alive and eating because of my friends. I have amazing partners. I have, like, literally my relationships are where I've always wanted them to be.
Yeah.
And my work ethic when it comes to school is where I've always wanted it to be. And it's still stressing me out, and it's still something that like I think about, because I think about like, oh, if I fail these classes, I'm fucked, and I have to drop out again, and there goes like my future, and I have to go repeat this whole cycle again. But you know, I think that I have more faith in myself, and I feel like I'm because of that, like because of all these fucked up things that I went to, I'm a lot stronger of a person, and I'm just going to push myself to succeed in all these things.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah. So basically, is what I'm doing is I'm trying to be like, okay, I'm back in this position again, and it's frustrating, and it feels like I'm regressing, but also the situation is the same, so it feels like I'm regressing. But when I look at myself and I look at like the relationships that I've cultivated, then
and the way that you're dealing with it,
yeah, then I'm probably doing a lot better, and I've probably grown a lot more than I'm giving myself credit for.
I certainly think you have, and I feel like I've seen that completely. Like, just the person that I met in 2016 at the Beyonce concert, and the Rene that I know now I don't think they're two completely different people, but like I've definitely seen the growth.
Aww.
Like, you're still your fun-loving self, but like I feel like you've opened yourself up a lot more, and I feel like you are, as much as you still like stress out and like overthink everything and are still like self-conscious. I think like you seem so much more confident now than you did when I first met you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I still have a long way to go.
I mean, but we all do. None of us are ever going to just be at a point where we just don't give a fuck about anything, and we're just fine with ourselves. Like, that's what therapists are for.
Right.
To help us get to that point. Well, I mean, I guess some people are. Megan Thee Stallion seems like she's in that place.
Who?
Megan Thee Stallion, the rapper.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She's always like, she has great confidence, so I want to be on that level.
Right. Yeah, it's just like, you too, actually. I feel like you're a completely different person as well. And like, honestly, I've been given the breakup and everything that's been going on, like, and seeing you, like, honestly, like, you're turning into like a completely different, not completely different, but like just a person that I feel like is confident in themselves and knows like, I'm gonna be all right, and like I got my own back, like I have this. Like, it's just really inspiring to see. And I'm so happy. Like, I feel like this past year for, like, our friend group has been, like, maybe, like, a year of, like, transformation and, like, really, really believing in yourself. And I'm, like, really proud of us. And I'm glad that we have each other to kind of push each other as well.
I fully agree with that. I think, honestly, and especially, I feel like even outside of you guys, this season seems to be like such a transformative season for everyone. Like, it really is. Like, this spring just feels like it's spring, of course, but it really does feel like rebirth. Like, I feel like so many people are going through so many life changes and are making so many like life decisions that they never thought they could make.
Yeah, for sure. For a lot of people.
Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just saying, yeah, for like when I think about it, yeah, a lot of people are going through these really intense transformations lately.
And I feel like I'm doing things now that I never thought I would do. You know, I'm like applying to jobs that I didn't have the confidence to apply to before. But now I'm like, bitch, I know I can do that. And it goes back to like how stupid all these rich white people are. It's like they're really not that smart. And if you really like, don't let anybody make you feel stupid. Because honestly, like as much as it sucks, I feel like, as you were saying earlier, you being in our situations, being marginalized teaches us so much. And we have to learn so much that they never will. Like, even I was talking to this guy. He's like a finesser. He's like, it's like he scams rich men. He's a city gay. I call him a city gay because he's like a city girl, but he's gay. and he was telling me, he was like, sis, like, don't, like, he doesn't, I don't think he scams them. I don't think it's like actual scamming because JT went to jail for that. Let me rephrase that. He finesses. It's all legal.
Right.
But, you know, one of the things that he told me was like, I don't mess with guys that weren't born rich because they're too smart.
Oh, wow.
He was like they recognize game immediately. He was like, it's the rich guys that don't. And I was just like, wow. He was like, it's the guys that didn't have to struggle that are the easiest marks. I was like, wow. I was like, ooh, bitch.
Dang, is this person also gorgeous?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, it helps, but
yeah.
You don't necessarily need to be.
Okay.
Putting
finesser down on my bucket list.
Also, girl, remember? Never mind, we're not gonna put that out
there. Oh, anyway. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
I was about to say, I know you're not trying to. Anyway, yeah. So like, it's just been like this crazy reminder. Like, my friend was like, "Girl, like, just Google. Like, if you don't know something, Google it."
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't realize like how little I did that. Like all this information is at our fingertips, and we have so many opportunities open to us.
Yeah.
Granted, it's more difficult. Obviously, the more marginalized you are, the less money you have. But like, there are so many possibilities for us, and that's what I'm realizing. There's so many paths that I could take. I could regress. You know, I could run back to LA with my tail between my legs. I'm definitely scared of these life changes that I'm going through right now. They're terrifying.
They're scary.
You know, but it's also going to help me grow as a person.
Yeah.
And it's necessary.
Yeah.
And I'm doing things now, I mean, I'm not going to put all my business out there because I don't know what's for sure yet, but a lot of good things seem like they're coming, and I feel confident in them, and I'm just like, and it's just crazy because when I first, you know, after the breakup initially happened, I didn't think I was capable. I had such low self-esteem. I didn't think I was capable of doing anything on my own.
Yeah.
And that wasn't anybody's fault. That was mine. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Like that, I'm not putting it on him. I was just saying, like, that was just how I felt.
Yeah.
And so I definitely was devastated because I felt like, one, I was losing this relationship, but also, how was I going to live?
Right.
And I also had to figure out what was my purpose in New York?
Right.
Because now it was like, I had a sort of purpose, but like, I felt like my purpose really became more clear to me when you know, after my relationship ended.
Yeah.
Because I had nothing else to focus on. So, you know, it's just a matter of like, just really like taking the time to appreciate wherever you are, wherever that is. It doesn't have to be, you know, this isn't the end of your journey. You're not there yet. And that's okay. You can take the time to appreciate the little milestones, even if they're small, even if other people don't think they're exciting or don't care. I went to Europe for the first time at the age of 24, and it was the first time, 23 actually, and it was the first time that I had ever like really truly been on my own and had to like really fend for myself. And at the time, I thought that was stupid to even be excited about that, because I was like, bitch, like, you're too grown to be like excited about like being on your own and taking care of yourself and like saving up your own money and like spending your own money. Like, I was like, oh, like, bitch, I felt grown for the first time. But like, at the end of the day, that was my journey. And when I reached that milestone, and that was exciting for me. And it didn't have to be exciting for anybody else.
Yeah. And it's like, you know, here's the thing too, is just like, the social clock is like, I feel like such a fucked up thing, because it assumes that everybody has the same opportunities and everyone has had like the same cultivation and conditioning and all this shit. And it's just like, no, like there's a reason. Like I feel guilty too. Like I feel guilty a lot of times because I'm just like, holy shit, I'm doing these things so late, and I think about it, I'm like, no, like I've had things happen to me that I've had to deal with that other people have not, and so
yeah,
you know, we're going to have to deal with the things that we deal with, and also be successful at the things that other people are successful at. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like we have this extra. If you're a person of color, if you're a queer person of color, you are going to have most likely this extra baggage that you're going to have to deal with. And so you might be a little delayed in dealing with and like kind of going through a lot of these things that you're quote unquote supposed to have gone through already. And it's just like, no, I'm not going to let, you know, the world make me feel guilty about this shit anymore. Cause it's fucked up and it's, we're doing it. And so Sophia's right. We're going to be this age anyway. So why the fuck not?
Yeah, exactly. To quote Sophia, why the fuck not? So we're just, I mean, unless you had any last thoughts, I think we can just read like one letter and then we'll be out.
I think I'm good. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I hope that y'all got something out of this conversation. It's always therapeutic for me to have these conversations. And I think like, you know, especially lately, I've just been thinking a lot about a lot of these things in terms of like personal growth. And that's why a lot of our conversations have been like relating around that lately. So anyway, we have a honey roast from A. They say a lot of nice things to us. But they start off with you, Renee.
Aww.
They say, you are beautiful. I know people often joke about how you're rarely on the show, but I really appreciate how in your absence you offer reminders of self-care. That shit is major and rarely modeled in the circles I have run in. I'm thankful for the political perspective you offer to the show, as well as your humor and your laugh. What you have shared about friends offering you spaces to crash and how you wouldn't be where you are without... Oh, that's like topical. And how you wouldn't be where you are without your friends definitely gives me hope for the possibility of what community could look like. Aww. I love your style from your hair to your clothes. I'm excited to see what the future has in store for you, and I'm thankful for the parts of yourself you bring to the podcast.
Oh, that is so sweet. What's their name? Can we say their name?
A. We can't say their name yet.
Thank you, A. You're a real one. Wow, that was so sweet. Wow. And yeah, it's very topical. Thank you.
John, you are beautiful. As a fellow Aquarian, I really relate to it. I'm grateful for your grounding presence on the show. You are definitely a humanitarian, go-water bearer, and it is so obvious how much love you have for your friend's chosen family. You hold space for a complexity and respond to it with poise while really taking the time to see and hear different people and their perspectives. It totally makes sense to me that you are a nurse. I imagine you'd be a great counselor, social worker, therapist as well. I love seeing your latest looks on Insta, and I feel really affirmed when you share gender yays or woes. Thank you for the parts of you that you bring to the podcast.
Aww.
That's so sweet. I know John is probably going to tear up at that one. To moi, dearest Baize, you are beautiful. Thank you. No, I've been feeling really ugly lately, so actually, thank you. I appreciate
don't.
It's okay. We all have our
that's
months.
That's true. You're like our date months,
years. And I'm so proud of you and how far you've come with your book. What a fucking accomplishment! I can't wait to learn more about it, and I'm wishing you the best in your process. You inspire me to keep writing. I'm so thankful for your perspective on race and specifically on being Black. You offer an extremely poignant point of view on different world issues that seem to come from a place of deep understanding of your positionality. You cut to the dirty truth and shed light on fucked up shit in a way that is direct, precise, and really damn valuable. I love hearing you share weird history, facts, or musical suggestions. Anytime you decide to make some public Apple Music playlist, please hit me up. You have a beautiful smile. Oh, I'm thankful you are alive, and I look forward to hearing more of your voice. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I would be so much more enthusiastic if I wasn't dying right now, but I do really appreciate it. And on the inside, I'm jumping up and down over this. This is really beautiful. Rakeem, you are beautiful. Ooh, we both beautiful? I'm just kidding. You're extremely talented, hardworking, and motivating. The other night I was so upset and depressed, and your words popped into my head. Put it in your art, so I wrote a poem about how I was feeling. Your artwork inspires me to create and do so unapologetically and queerly. Your art challenges me to explore playfulness and color. I'm thankful for your perspective on literally everything. It is always insightful and direct. I appreciate how you explain yourself and how you respond to things you're not sure about or don't quite understand. Thank you for the editing you put into making the podcast happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're a badass. Yes, thank you for that, sis. She about to do it right tonight too. I'm so grateful. You're a badass, and I'm thankful for the energy and love and labor you put into making POC possible. to all of you. As I mentioned before, this podcast has really been saving grace for me at a time that I haven't had much community. When I come together with y'all once a week, I am reminded that my queer life is valid, that my chosen people are out there, that I am not alone in these identities, experiences, and beliefs that we share. I am so thankful for the ways you share your hearts and thoughts and differences. I'm thankful to be a witness of this friendship and familyship that is rooted in love and care. I'm thankful for the visible ways you challenge one another as a collective group. You offer representation that I did not realize I needed. The ways you uplift and support one another is beautiful and radical. The ways you make space for and hold one another is beautiful. The ways you offer love and affection and softness to one another is beautiful. I'm not sure I have any other examples of all this, so I want to say thank you. Y'all truly helped me feel alive and connected at a time that I felt most isolated and alone. Thank you so much, A.
Wow.
Like, that's beautiful, and honestly, it really gives it for me. It makes me feel really glad that we recorded this episode, because I really today was not a good day for me, and I didn't want to record. And then Rakeem was not feeling well, and then John couldn't be on, so I was just ooh, maybe we don't need to do this. But it was the time that Renee could be on, and I was like, we can't miss that opportunity. She really has a break in school to do this. So I'm glad that we could come together and provide this for you guys.
Yeah, this is also the reason we do this now, because at first it was kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But the reason we do this now too is just because, or one of the reasons is I appreciate the feedback that we get, A, and B, I just hear from people that we have a big impact, and that they like hearing people like themselves on a podcast, and I appreciate that that we get that feedback, and also I'm glad that we're having an effect on somebody. I'm glad this is actually that we're not just talking to ourselves, and that people are actually tuning in and listening and find the things that we talk about necessary. So
yeah. Okay. Any announcements, Renee?
No.
Wasn't your friend in that blood orange thing?
Oh, Davia. Yeah, yes. Davia was Davia Spain on Instagram. One of my most amazing and sweet and gorgeous friends performed with Blood Orange recently. So congrats to her. And yeah, that's basically it, I would say.
I have no announcements. Just pray for me that the things that are maybe coming to me, if you don't pray, because I don't either, just send me good vibes and love. And I have a good feeling about these things, but I could use all the positivity I can get right now. Yeah, I guess that's just gonna be it for this week's episode. You can find us everywhere at Podcast of Color, except for Twitter, of course, because the motherfucker still hasn't given us Podcast of Color. But we're Trash of Color on there. I'm really not as good at this as Rakeem is. And don't forget to comment on our YouTube. We got a YouTube channel. Don't forget to comment on our iTunes and rate us. That really helps a lot. And don't forget to just share the podcast on social media if you feel so inclined. Yeah, as always, we really appreciate the love and support, you guys. And thank you for bearing with both of us tired, sick, allergy filled people on today's episode, because we are, Jesus, I'm literally about to go pass out right now. So thanks, guys. Till next week.
Till next doing bye.
Rene, Baize, Rakeem, John, 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 Rene.